Hello RC fans, Nitro fans, Racing 393. Part 5 of my ACME Condor refurbishment rebuild. We're turning this car into a rally car, ideally. So part 5 is the reassembly of the engine, which I stripped down in my previous part, in part 4. Here it is. Now, I haven't done anything to it. It will need a bit of a clean, a little bit of refurbishment here and there. I'm going to try and keep this bit as simple as I can, because I don't want to draw this out so it's like a long process. I get carried away sometimes, so I'll do my best here to make this a bit of a shorter video, but I'll show you some interesting parts and bits and pieces that I've done. So that's the bag of bits. Yeah, it's quite a lot to do, well, especially a lot of preparation, cleaning, and you've got to sort of repair that carb as well. So without further ado, I'm going to get cracking, and I'll come back as I've got bits and pieces to show you that may be of interest. Okay, so I've done a bit of maintenance here. I've cleaned the block, so that's all nice and clean. I've cleaned the crank, oiled the bearings. Lovely in there now, so it wasn't too bad to start with, but to be honest, that's it. It's got the washers. There's a washer in there, like, well, not a washer, what's it, like a shim in there on the face of the crank that goes in, and there's a washer there for shim. I keep saying washers, but you know, shims. I've cleaned this up, the barrel. That goes in, it does go in. I'm not going to put it in yet until I've got the piston in. And I've also cleaned these up, the header, the cooling fins. So I'm going to put some paint on this. So that's nice. So the next thing to do is to fit the piston and rod in there, and the sleeve, and then the back plate, which I'll clean up because I want to put the spring and the dowel in there so I don't lose it, and put the back plate on there so that that's complete. I'm using 3-in-1 oil, just a little bit there to rebuild the engine with, and I've got my bearing oil that I use for the bearings. So yeah, come out so far so good. I've got to get that off. I've got to rub that down. There's got an old gasket on there. I forgot that, so I didn't want to do that with the crank in there. But yeah, I'm gonna grab that off. I'll be back once I've got perhaps the sleeve in there and the piston and the rod. So it's back together, sort of the bottom end, the block and the backing plate where the pull start would go. That's all clean. You know, it still does have that weird TDC notch. It's right there. It's a bit of free play. Is that normal? If you know the answer, or I don't, it does happen on motors, but usually if something's wrong, I usually found that was like that when it was too tight up here, but I mean, it's fine, but it does have that sort of TDC play. What is that? If you know the answer, like if it's nothing, let me know. If it is something, let me know. I'm not sure. In a real race car engine, or an engine in general, it shouldn't really do that. So I don't know. Now, karting engines, they don't do that. 4-strokes, they don't do that. But this is a nitro. This is completely different. So yeah, let me know if you know. But the next thing I'll do now is start the process of putting the clutch back on there. Yeah, and then maybe put the pull start on, so that's on out the way. And then it'll just be paint the head and stick it on. So But this bit, the clutch bit's going to take a little bit of time because I've got to change the shoes or repair the shoes. Okay, so I've been a bit busy completing what I could. Now you can see I've it's all cleaned and put back together. There's a couple of things. So yeah, well, the obvious one is I've tied up the header, the cooling fins. I've just painted it a typical blue. It may not stay on there when it runs, but it doesn't matter. It looks nice. And I've put the pull starter on now. So that's all done. It's got, if I can pull it, I don't know if I can do that and hold it at the same time. It's got good compression. Don't know if the plug works because I haven't got anything charged. So what else have I got to do? The obvious one here, or one of the two obvious things, I've got to clean this up, the header. I've got a gasket somewhere, those old-fashioned retro gaskets. Just got to clean that up on there, clean this up. That'll go on. That's all good. Strip the carb down, because I don't know the full details of the carburetor. That's in the bag there somewhere. Because it's got a butterfly that's not working. I'm not going to get it out now. But anyway, that's going to be another task. Also, I've put this had the single speed clutch bell on. I've now put the double speed one. It does fit. There's a few things. There's the clutch springs. One of them I snapped. So I've ordered some more. One's okay. I've got to tidy the shoes up. So that'll be in another bit of this video. I'll tidy up the shoes. They're only aluminium shoes. But I think because they come out, I don't know why, but it seems this is a used pinion anyway, or clutch bell. So you can see it's got hot. That can be a bit of an issue. I think that's what happened to that's why the clutch shoes are they're a bit melted. They look like they're melted. I'll have to take this off and show you when I do it. But it's only got one clutch spring on the clutch shoes, and one of you can hear that. That's the other clutch shoe flipping around. So, yeah. Also, this has got a little bit of end float on it. Now, the other one I've got, this other motor, I keep saying motor, that annoys me. Engine doesn't. Now, I'm assuming, rightly or wrongly, that it's fairly similar. I don't know. So when I take the clutch shoes off, when I take the bell off, I'm going to try and just torque up that a bit more. I don't think it's going to go on much more than that. I can't see it myself. The problem with that is I need to sort out some spacings, because when you do this screw up, it tightens up the bell. It's already tight-ish, but I haven't oiled the bearings or done anything in that yet. So, yeah. All this, we don't even know if it should work. There's no reason why it shouldn't. Even if the carburetor's crap, I can always use this carb. It's exactly the same, so it doesn't matter. But that's where we're at the moment. Is there anything else? There's nothing else. So in a minute, I'm going to clean this up. Put that on. I've got to wait for the springs to get here. So, yeah. I don't know how long that'll take, but for you, it'll be in a minute in the next bit of the video. So, right, let's crack on and let's tidy this little thing up. The header's on. I couldn't find the gasket, so I've had to use gasket sealer. That seems all good. That's the original exhaust there. Look, so that's the one that came off. Plastic or composite. I'm going to try an aluminium exhaust on there instead. It's ever so slightly shorter. Make a few modifications, clean it out. Got a comb that goes inside, and we'll have that on there. Just why not? I don't know if it'll make any difference, but we'll find out. So I'm going to clean this up, stick it on. The modification, I'm going to drill this out on there. It is quite small in there. It actually tapers down. It's quite large, and it tapers. I know that might be to do with back pressure. I don't know, but we're going to drill it out. Try it. I don't know what it'll go like anyway. So it's all going to be a testing curve. This is all cleaned out now. So anyway, we'll stick it all together. I'm going to do the work. I'll come back, show you when I've put it onto the header using the original flexi or the exhaust coupling, if you like. And yeah, and we'll go from there. I think after that it will be the carb, and then the springs for the clutch bell in there, which are broken. One has anyway. And there it is, all installed. Yeah, looks better than the plastic one. What do you think? Slightly smaller bore. That's the original. Probably nothing wrong with it, if I'm honest. Slightly smaller, but it's the same type of exhaust. I've drilled the outlet out 6mm. I don't know if that make any difference. We'll find out. I'm not gonna secure the coupling, not yet, until it's actually in the chassis. So that's that. Bit of a tidy up, I suppose. Better get that carburetor started. Okay, so that's the getting towards the, it is the end of part 5. In this episode, I rebuilt, checked, cleaned the engine. As you can see, it's come up really well. So there's a couple of things. So on the original motor, that had, I say motor, that's old-fashioned for engine, but on the engine, on the clutch side of it, these were the sort of the clutch shoes, and I still am planning to sort of scurf these down with a Dremel or something, because they're a bit burnt, and I've got to get a spring. Because the spring I tried to tension up myself, and it's because it's an old spring. You can see here, there's springs in this one here. So I've got some more of them on order, so it's not a big issue. However, I've got another one of these engines just out of shot, and I took the clutch apart and just basically put it onto this one. Had to change a few things. I'm hoping it will fit the chassis. I can't see a reason why it won't. It does have a different flywheel. The one that came off is a bit thinner. It's got a slightly different design face here, and there's a backing plate which is actually thinner on the other engine. So thinking I should have put that on, but this is the original backing plate. I don't know what else to call it. It's like a spacer behind the flywheel there. Well, that one behind the flywheel there is the original for this engine. So it's going to put the gear, the sort of the clutch bell, ever so slightly further forward. Anyway, that's not really a big issue. So, but it's got the 2-speed clutch bell on there now. It spins nice and free, as you can see, like that. There's a little bit of play there, but nothing as you'd expect. Nothing as you would expect anyway. The carburetor is all clean. I repaired, or done that nut up basically on there. Behind this throttle arm, there's like a washer with like little, it's like a grip washer, if you like, for want of a better description, and it grips the plastic arm to this sort of the shaft. Anyway, that's done. It's all been stripped. It's super clean now. That's that done. I haven't actually finished putting the exhaust on, to be honest. The only reason is I'm not quite sure where to put it when it goes on the chassis. Then I will put some zip ties on here. Yeah, it's got some good compression. I was still concerned about that little knocking sound, or it feels like a bit of free play at TDC. I don't know. The other engine isn't doing that, definitely. But yeah, I'll keep that. The other engines, I haven't taken it apart, but it is essentially the same. So I have some spare parts should I need them. Anyway, before this goes on much longer, that's the end of part 5. So I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit of an engine rebuild. Part 6 will probably commence very soon for me. That would include rebuilding the shock absorbers. I'm not going to film rebuilding them, but I'll probably show you one of them. Just look at the condition of the shock. That's all I'm doing. So we'll start with what it's like at the beginning. We'll take it apart. I'll rebuild it. I'll show it, you know, on squeezer vision, and then do the others. I'll do them off camera. And once those have done, that'll be a very short part of the video. I think at that point, I'm just trying to think now, we're ready to rebuild the car and put it all back together. I have got an eBay bulk buy of another one of these. It's just in bits. It's just mainly for spares should anything break. So that's not here yet, but that won't stop me rebuilding it. So I hope you enjoyed part 5. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you'd like to consider subscribing to my channel, that would be much appreciated as we head into I think we've got just over 400 subscribers as of the time of this video, when I'm actually making it. We're heading towards 500. Just to reiterate, if you're this far into the video, I'm going to be doing a free giveaway once I hit 500 subscribers. The other benchmark is, I think, 3,000 watch hours in a year. That's going to be, unless I just fully load up my channel with videos. But yeah, I think the watch hours is down. Trying to keep people entertained throughout, but this is more of educational videos. They're not meant to be funny or entertaining. That isn't selling it very well, is it? Anyway, I'll stop there. Yeah, so watch out for part 6. That'll be coming to you very soon. And I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.